Are we seeing sort of a new kind of corporate strategy where CEOs say, hey, maybe being Elon Musk adjacent is a great way to boost our stock price, but in the end, they have to prove that that's sustainable. And Hertz is a good example of this, coming out with this big announcement and Elon Musk tempering it a bit.
Yeah, Matt Levine at Bloomberg, he said it best. He said, finance in 2021, your value is not ascribed by your future cash flows. It's by your proximity to Elon Musk. And I think Hertz might have tried to take that strategy. You got to look back, October 5th, they named Mark Fields the interim CEO. He was previously the CEO of Ford Motor Company. He comes in, he's got to make a splash, and he did last week. 100,000 new vehicles coming from Tesla. There are all these side deals with Uber and Carvana. He was all over the press making such a big deal. They hired the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, to do an entire new marketing campaign. It seemed amazing. And then last night at around 11 p.m., Elon Musk says there's no contract signed. We don't know why he did it. We don't know what the exact deals are. There's been no responses from Hertz or Tesla. All this shows is how unpredictable things can be, how in this entire meme stock PR-driven world where investor communications are so complex, how things can change on a dime.
Mm-hmm. Hertz did respond, by the way, saying that they have already began deliveries. But again, your point is well taken, Ranjan, that much is made about these announcements, and then when they actually have to deliver, that is a little bit uncertain. You have to wait in the future. Speaking of that, though, I want to talk about Rivian as well, looking at an IPO next week. And this is another company, I know you talk about like the teenager economy, and it's a company that has large losses, have just started delivering vehicles. You read a lot of S1s. What did you make of Rivian's?
Yeah, so I've written recently about what I call the teenager economy. It's this idea that you have these companies that are in their early stages or maybe a little bit mature, but there's just been no real oversight. There's been no regulatory oversight. There's been no oversight from the boards of directors to actually try to enforce some discipline. And more importantly, in a zero interest rate environment, there's been no capital discipline. It's like giving a teenager a no limit credit card to spend. And I think Rivian's interesting. Again, Amazon is a huge backer. Ford owns 12%, and they've said that they're backing them in the entire EV fight. But again, they've delivered, I believe, 1,000 vehicles. Will they actually be able to reach a $60 billion valuation when they've been losing money? This stuff right now, you say the words electric vehicle and your stock can go up 200%. Look at Avis today. I mean, this is the best possible example. Yesterday in their earnings calls, they said, which they beat, and it was a good call, it was a good report, they said that they will do something with electric vehicles, and their stock is up nearly 200% today.
Although, Ranjan, I mean, I understand the skepticism about delivery. I understand the skepticism about losses. But isn't Tesla a giant lesson that when new economies emerge, that's pretty common, but they mature and things flatten out, efficiencies get better, costs come down? I mean, how many times do we have to learn this lesson and get hit on the head with the hammer?
Yep. Listen, Tesla has delivered relative to their prior performance. Tesla has not delivered to achieve a $1.2 trillion valuation. Listen, we can go like Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas said, 5 million vehicles by 2030. Their operating margins are improving. Their gross margins are improving. We can say that they're going to revolutionize the insurance business. They will be the future of the electricity grid. Who knows? But they are going to deliver very nicely on potentially 1 million cars this year, but their power still does not come from Tesla, the underlying company. Their stock valuation is still driven by Elon Musk's Twitter account. And I think that's the most important thing to remember in the economy today. We try to ascribe rational analysis. We pull out spreadsheets and discounted cash flow analyses, but that has nothing to do with what's happening with the price action of a stock on a day-to-day basis. And again, Tesla is down a bit today, but does that have anything to do with this Hertz deal? Hertz is still saying they'll receive delivery. It was up 9% yesterday on what Jim Cramer very aptly called nothing. And it was up $130 billion in market cap yesterday. There's no rational analysis that can be done on Tesla's stock.